tips and tricks around looking after your skin health during winter, which is particularly pertinent, I think, since we are currently in the depths of winter right now in the UK. And I was just thinking, actually, before I came on tonight, I
Yeah.
was like, if some users will probably be joining in their summer. So
Yeah.
I have to apologize if that's you, if you're living in Australia or something. You can maybe write a comment and say what season it is over there. But hopefully this will still prove useful because it will be winter soon for you. So hopefully you find it enjoyable.
Yeah,
Um,
definitely.
great.
But yeah, let us know where you're from. I think we've got a few people on. So yeah, where's everyone from? We're from the UK. It's very, very cold here, very dark, very cold. So winter skincare is very important because you do have to change your skincare according to the environment and the weather. And your skin changes day to day as well. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think, the skin is a dynamic organ. It's not something which is fixed. I mean, naturally, if you think about it, as we age, our skin will naturally change. And we have to adapt our skincare routines. And so, like that, with the seasons, we have to change our skincare routine in order to help with the winter environment. So, I think, firstly, we were talking about a bit of a rough structure with regards to this session is what particular areas of the body are we kind of thinking about more during winter. So for me personally, the areas where kind of I was particularly focused on would be the face, of course, naturally, the hands and the lips, which are all particularly prone to drying out. These are areas which are generally uncovered, unlike
Mhm.
main body, which is clothed, which is
Yeah.
in a bit more warm, humid environment. So it's about thinking about these areas and getting a routine which, you know, in these areas over winter, you're typically thinking of a time where the environment's harsh. It's going to be drying out your skin more. You're going to be thinking generally about more thicker moisturizers generally in most of these areas. Sarah, do you want to kind of start us off in maybe we can start off with the face?
100%.
um,
So let's start off with the face. So again, it depends on your skin type. So I've found over the past few years, my skin is a lot more prone to dryness, especially under the eyes, around the nose, sometimes around the lips. But in general, you want to be thinking about protecting your face and trying to restore that skin barrier. So your skin is an organ. It's the largest organ, and one of the main functions is to act as a barrier against the environment. And there are things that we can do to help it do that. So that's what people talk about. I've seen on TikTok a lot the concept of a skin barrier. So there are things we can do to help restore that. So let's start by talking about the skincare routine. So usually we start off with cleansing. One tip would be to reduce the frequency of cleansing. So generally, people cleanse in the morning, cleanse at night time, but actually, you can skip out on the AM cleanse if you feel like it's not 100% necessary for you. So the point of cleansing is obviously to clean your face.
oh, I can't hear you
All the
anymore.
makeup,
Okay, you're back.
pollution, the oil. Can you hear me now?
Sorry, yeah, just briefly quit out. It's fine now.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the point of cleansing, but it can have a negative effect on the skin barrier, especially if you're doing it too often, especially if you're prone to dryness. Um, so what you can do is think about reduce the frequency of cleansing. So what do you do? Do you cleanse twice a day, Sina, or do you just do it once a day in the evening?
Well, I mean, I generally always do it in the morning because I find it wakes me up. And in the evening, I have just a bit of a brief cleanse, really, just with water. In the morning, I'm generally just washing my face, particularly in the shower. I tend to kind of lump it together with washing my body. so, but actually, kind of goes on to the point with showering, which you're going to come on to about hot showers, which I think you mentioned to me. So,
We'll mention that as well.
yeah.
Yeah, people love a long hot shower. We'll talk about it later, but it's not always the best thing for your skin. But yeah,
Yeah.
so Sometimes when my skin is feeling extra dry in the winter, I do miss out the morning cleanse and I do just use water, but it depends on how my skin is feeling. So that's one tip. The second tip when it comes to your skincare routine is you can think about reducing the frequency of use of actives. So some actives like retinoids, we love retinoids. They're amazing. They're
Yeah.
evidence-based. But one of the side effects is it can make your skin a bit more dry, can't it? So what you can do is if you feel that you need to, you can reduce the frequency, perhaps from daily to 4 or 5 times a week. But it depends on your skin, because some people can use them every day and it's absolutely fine. Bear in mind that all the clinical trials that have been done on retinoids have been done with the participants using retinoids daily. So you just have to bear that in mind. So all of the benefits that we see secondary to retinoids have been shown when you use retinoids daily for a minimum of 12 weeks. So bear that in mind. But if you need to, I would say reduce the frequency. And that's what I do personally as well. Sometimes in wintertime, I do skip a few days. Maybe I use them 4 or 5 times a week because my skin, even though I've been using retinoids for a couple of years, still gets quite dry, actually,
Does it?
especially in wintertime, secondary to retinoids. So yeah, that's the one specifically. Chemical exfoliation. So if you like using the glycolic acid, the salicylic acids, I'd also advise reducing the frequency of use in wintertime. Because again, a side effect can be dryness, flakiness, and sensitivity.
Yeah.
So that's my second tip. I'd say reduce the frequency of use. And the third tip is with regards to moisturizers. So I'll let you talk a little bit about moisturizing in the wintertime.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So again, moisturizing, I feel, is something which may actually vary depending on what body type, body part you're talking about. So specifically, for example, if your hands are particularly dry, but your face is not as much prone to dryness, you may want something which is thicker on your hands rather than on your face. And that's where it really depends on the vehicle which you're using in your moisturizer. So, for example, you may have heard that, there's lotions, there's creams, there's ointments, and all of these have certain different qualities to them. So, for example, ointments are generally thicker, greasier, predominantly oil-based, very good to preventing a part of the body from drying out. So, for example, if you had very, very dry hands in the winter, in particular, an ointment may be necessary. For example, if it's on the, particularly on the dorsal surface, on the backs of the hands, for example, some people get it quite badly over winter. An ointment may be necessary. It's really kind of adjusting based on personal needs. You may find for a face, an ointment may be a bit too greasy for you. So, for example, I wouldn't use an ointment on my face. I usually stick with facial lotions. And we'll kind of go through a few of the products which we actually have picked out to talk about tonight as well. Just with regards to winter skincare and what we're using and what may be quite nice to use. So I think I've touched on a few different areas. One other area is the lips, which are frequently forgotten, but I've seen quite a lot of people with dry chapped lips. Actually, me being one of them, I do succumb to dry lips on occasion. And there's so many fancy products out there, aren't there, Sarah? With they've got they're perfumed, they've got fillers in them in terms of filler ingredients in the particular products, especially on the lips. I've come across some products which have like lavender in them and things like that, and you're just like, do you want that on your lips? I'm not quite sure. So I would go for something very, very basic, just pure petrolatum. So Vaseline lip care, use that liberally over winter months, and you should be fine. Also, don't forget that you do still get exposed to sunlight on your lips as well, so you may want to incorporate an SPF into that as well.
Yeah. So we've got quite. Dr. Iman has left a few comments. So I absolutely love her. I don't know if you follow her, Sina, but her vlogs are so entertaining. So can I just say that I love watching your vlogs?
Oh, really?
I watch
Dr.
them
Iman?
all the way to the end. I don't know
Really?
what it is about them. I find them so entertaining, even when she just does vlogs of her doing her day-to-day life on her day off, and I love them a lot. So
What did she vlog about?
She literally just vlogs. Like, she had one the other day where she was just like, it was just her day off and she had no plans,
Oh,
and she
really?
just vlogged it, and it was
Oh,
so
wow.
entertaining. So thank you for the kind comments. I think she's quite interested in dermatology as well.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I can't see her comments actually on my
so
side.
I can only see comments from my side if
Oh,
they're
really?
watching it from my side, and then
Oh,
we can see different comments
should we?
basically. Yeah.
I kind of want to just say hi to everyone who's joined. So I think
Yeah.
Jonathan, Leandre, welcome. I feel like we need to, welcome all of you guys into this
Yes.
chat a bit more. And, feel free to put some questions in the comments. We can't give personalized medical advice, but we can kind of answer generalized things for you.
Exactly. Yeah, that's important to say. So we can just answer general questions with regards to generic skincare. Something we're both very passionate about. So I'll go through some of the comments that I've got from my side, and then maybe you can pick out some of yours. So Dr. Iman has said that we should do an evidence-based series. She feels as though there's a lot of nonsense online. I kind of agree, not going to lie. I see a few TikToks, I'm like, I don't know. I don't feel like there's no evidence to support that. But yes, I think that's a really good idea. She asked about peptides and ceramides. So that's quite a good question. Ceramides are a natural component of our skin barrier. They make up we have natural moisturizing factors that make up the skin barrier. Ceramides are a natural component of that, so I love ceramides. So CeraVe moisturizers are packed with really good ceramides. Anything that mimics the skin barrier is really good to apply on top. So love ceramides, 10 out of 10, really good for moisturizing and hydration. With regards to peptides, there is an evidence base. I have seen some randomized controlled trials that have shown benefits with regards to wrinkling and skin aging. But I've also seen randomized controlled trials that have shown they have no effect. I think at the very least, they will definitely help with hydration, at the very least. In some people, they may help. I like using them. I love the ordinary, the buffet serum, which is packed with peptides.
Oh, yeah.
I love that. I love it. I find that at least it helps with my with the hydration, and I feel like I look a lot more glowy when I've been using it for a while. So I personally like peptides. But with regards to the evidence base, obviously nowhere near as strong as retinoids, but there is some data to support their use. So that's what I'll say with regards to peptides. So if I'm going to score them out of 10, score them a 7.
Everyone likes
retinoids being the 10. Retinoids and sunscreen are the 10. Vitamin C is like the 8 to 9. Peptides, I'm going to give them, I'm going to give them a 6 because I think there's data to show that they're helpful, but they're not going to be groundbreaking. They overpromise sometimes.
There's more data coming out, and I think they're still actively doing research on them. There's a compound called Matrixyl 3000. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Yes, I have. Yeah.
Which is getting quite a trend right now, and it's been around for I think a couple of decades now, hasn't it? But it's frequently advertised in the anti-aging spheres as being an adjunct to a retinoid. So maybe something you'd want to incorporate into your routine. Again, know that the evidence base is not as strong as retinoids, but certainly it can't do any harm to incorporate into your routine. You may find sometimes using them together with your retinoids, if you're using both daily, it can be a bit harsh on your skin. So, for example, you may want to space them out in the week, just as and when needed, really, when whatever suits individual skin, really, is what I would say.
Yeah, no, that's good. And then she has said there's less talk on emollients, lotions, and creams, and more on specific ingredients. Why do you think that is? I think it's because it's a lot more exciting to talk about this one specific ingredient will change your life. I do think a lot of these things get more views, so that's probably why there's more focus on them. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. I think there's a hype around the new ingredient, isn't there? If it comes, and you find that the names are changing a bit as well. So they're, sometimes if they've added something onto a name, and then it becomes a bit more complicated. It sounds new, and so I think there's an attractiveness about that. That's why there is more hype around certain specific ingredients. Whereas the common terms of like the vehicles, so for example, ointments, creams, lotions have been around for ages. That's why we talk less about vehicle bases and more about individual ingredients. But it just goes to show, the talk about the actual base of what you're using is important, and I think it is under voiced. I think we do need to talk specifically more about that. I mean, one of my earliest YouTube videos was about creams versus ointments, but it's not that attractive a topic to talk about, unfortunately, and people don't generally look that up.
No, I don't think so. Yeah. I mean, I find it interesting, but obviously we're massive skincare geeks, so we're going to find it interesting. But it's important to know. So then when you're shopping, when you're buying skincare, you're not wasting your money. You're buying something that will actually work for you and your skin. So just knowing these terms, knowing that an ointment is thicker, but it's a lot more greasy and might not be appropriate for day-to-day use. Although I do go to sleep with ointments on my face.
that comes on to our next point, actually, which I want to discuss: slugging. So everyone's talking about slugging, and we're going to hear our opinions about slugging. Sarah, do you want to start us off and say what do you think about that? Oh yeah, you're going to go and slug straight after this. What do you think?
So let's just, if you don't know what slugging is using Vaseline. You go to sleep, just all over your face, and the idea is that it locks in moisture. So Vaseline is made out of petroleum jelly, although I think Americans call it petrolatum. That's what I've heard them say. Petroleum jelly. It's occlusive. It's probably the most occlusive skincare ingredient out there. What does occlusive mean? Occlusive means it locks in moisture and prevents transepidermal water loss. Okay, so there is definitely some evidence behind that, and there's even been studies. I don't know if you've looked it up, Sina, but I have looked up studies supporting the use of petrolatum in like dry skin conditions, and there is evidence that shows that it does reduce the transepidermal water loss. I do think I like it. I will say I like it. I think petrolatum works really well. I think you don't have to apply it all over your face. So me personally, sometimes I do use Vaseline as an eye cream. The one thing I will say is it doesn't add moisture to the skin. It's just an occlusive. So sometimes you have to put a moisturizer underneath and then put Vaseline on top to act as the lock. And I think a lot of people don't know that. Same with your lips. So wearing a lip balm and then putting the Vaseline on top helps by locking in that moisture. I do think, again, loads of people wake up and say, loads of people on TikTok say, I woke up and my skin completely changed. I do think there's a lot of hype. Again, lots of people over-promising on what you can see from slugging. But I think at the minimum, if you have dry skin, you'll see an improvement in the hydration. Not suitable for everyone. So acne-prone skin might not be suitable for you, okay? So bear that in mind. If you have acne, it might not be appropriate. I wouldn't slug over strong active ingredients like retinoids, okay? I think that can cause a lot of irritation, can be quite risky there. So just be careful if you've got retinoids in your face. Don't slug with retinoids, okay? Because I think that can cause some severe irritation. What do you think about slugging? What are your thoughts?
So from my point of view, I think it really, as you kind of emphasized, it depends. I think it depends on individual circumstances. And I think rather than kind of blindly following a trend and being like, oh, everyone else is slugging, I'm going to get benefit from slugging. It's actually taking a step back and think of all the variables. And I suppose one thought that I had coming before this session actually was that a lot of people don't think about the environment they're in. So for example, are you in a hot, humid environment? Are you in a cold, harsh environment? What effect is that having on your skin? So that will determine like what your nighttime skincare routine is going to be like. If it's a humid environment, I don't think it really would be that necessary to be slugging all over your skin. What's your skin type in terms of, are you a very prone to dryness quite severely on your face, or are you like me, a bit more kind of normal / combination skin? I would say that's, you know, people suffering from dry to very dry skin who want to try slugging on an evening. You know, I would personally not have problems with that. As you said, there's few instances where you can really kind of cause harm. You know, one of the things with the occlusive nature of the whole kind of slugging process is that if you're prone to acne breakouts, if you're, you know, for example, a teenager, and you know, you've seen the trends, and you're going to, you know, you're putting all of this moisturizer on your skin, or petrolatum jelly, and then you wake up with a breakout, it's kind of understandable because you've occluded your skin overnight and your skin type isn't quite appropriate to be using that method of preventing the kind of transepidermal water loss. So yeah, I think from my point of view, it depends. I'm not against it. I think it's got certain positives. I suppose one other question is, how much do you use?
How much? I don't go overboard. Lightweight layer. I don't. You know, again, you see videos of people online kind of going a bit overboard, I think, but just a light layer of Vaseline simply to lock in that moisture. I don't go crazy. I think it's really good for the lips. I do think it is. Vaseline is probably one of the best lip care products out there, I would argue. Fragrance free, does the job. So your lips are a lot thinner than the skin of the rest of your body. They lack the top layer, the stratum corneum, so they either lack them or it's a lot thinner. So what that means is the skin barrier just isn't as strong. That's why they're prone to dryness. So using things like Vaseline can be quite helpful, especially in winter time. So that's good.
Yeah, lips are also a sensitive area. I've seen, you know, a handful of patients with contact allergies, like presenting around the lips. So that's particularly why to be wary of products with a lot of fillers in them. They've got a lot of perfumed ingredients. I don't think it's something that's necessary really for your lips or your lip care. So just be wary about what you buy. As I say, that's why I would recommend the Vaseline lip care as being a staple in a skincare routine. But I'm sure, you know, the advertising practices of certain brands will attract audiences to try out different variations of lip care out there.
Yeah.
I've only got one question here actually from Laura. I don't know if she's still on the chat, and she was saying, what skincare would you recommend for chicken skin? Now, I'm not sure what she means by chicken skin. So I mean, perhaps she's meaning keratosis pilaris.
That's what I was thinking. Maybe she's referring to, you know, when you have dry, rough, bumpy skin, referring to keratosis pilaris.
That's probably what you get. You get it on the upper arms quite particularly. That's why we're stroking these areas.
Yeah.
Particularly areas which are prone, and on the thighs as well.
Yeah.
I actually recommend benzoyl peroxide wash to patients for that. I mean, a thick moisturizer is good as well in those areas. But you want to just try to, you know, reduce the chances of plugging of your follicles as much as you can. I think that's what she's kind of hinting at. Although in dermatology, there's a lot of other things which we'd call chicken skin. So it's quite a descriptive term, that.
Yeah, so I like body moisturizers that have chemical exfoliants in. So glycolic acid or lactic acid, I think can be really good. There are retinoids that you can use on the body as well. So I think all of these ingredients are great. Urea-based moisturizers,
really good.
Yeah, can be good.
So it's just hyperkeratotic, thickened skin areas. That's really particularly good.
Yes, yeah, I do really like urea just as a skincare ingredient in general. I do think it's got a lot of uses. It's good for the feet, but it's also good for KP, which might be what she's referring to with chicken skin. I'm not sure, but yes.
Good. So, any other questions? I mean, I haven't really got many other questions here. Jordan, welcome to the chat. I think it's almost approaching 8:30. What do you want to do, Sarah? Shall we think of a few more? Is there any kind of particular points that we've missed? I'm just taking a look at my notes and seeing what else we can really talk about. I think we've covered most of the main points, really.
Yeah, I think just a few other things. So avoiding long hot showers that we mentioned before, just to I know in wintertime it's really nice to have a nice long hot shower, but that can actually make dry skin a lot worse. So lukewarm showers, or if you're going to have a hot shower, keep it really short. So that's probably
I
one
forgot
of
our
the
products. We
our
don't want to forget our
products.
products.
Yes.
So we'll show you what what we're thinking about in the winter skincare routine. So both of us have picked, I think, 3 products that we want to kind of mention. FY, these are not advertised. There's no sponsorship, anything happening with these. So rest assured, this is just our own personal choices.
Yeah. So I'm actually going to mention a sunscreen because we haven't mentioned sunscreen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wear sunscreen every day. I think really, so you know the UV level rating, if it's 0 to 1, then technically you probably don't need to. But I just, as a habit, I wear sunscreen every day
It's
because
good
I don't
habit to have.
yeah, and I don't want to be checking the UV rating every day, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
if it goes over 1, then I have to run and get my sunscreen. So I wear it every day. This is one of my favorite winter sunscreens. It's the Garnier Super UV Glycerin. It's really thick, super hydrating. I absolutely love this one. I always wear it in the wintertime, or the Super Goop. Love
Yeah.
Goop. So good. It's just so glowy and amazing. Oh, I love it so much. So those are my top 2 favorite sunscreens at the moment in January UK wintertime. Okay, your turn.
Are we doing one each? Okay, let's do one each. Go on, we'll make this exciting in that sense. So I've got Aveeno.
I love Aveeno.
Aveeno lotion. A lot of my patients love this. I mean, particularly good for, well, I like it on the limbs, hands, feet. Possibly not on the face, but definitely kind of dry areas in wintertime. I think Aveeno lotion, you can't really go wrong. It's got an oat-based formula. It feels very soft on the skin, not too greasy. So that's my first pick as a moisturizing product. Should we go for your second?
Yeah, what do you think about the Cicaplast then? What are your thoughts about this?
I've not really used the Cicaplast that much, actually.
I actually discovered this through TikTok. So I'll be honest, prior to TikTok hype, I did not use it. I love the ingredients. I love the fact that it's fragrance free. It's very thick. When I went to Iceland, I actually wore this every day, and it did such a good job at keeping my skin hydrated.
And for a second, I thought you meant the supermarket Iceland.
No,
the actual
I went to the country in
right.
December. It was -15, and I wore this every day, and it was amazing. So I really think it lives up to the hype. It's got panthenol in it, which is a great ingredient for hydration. Love Cicaplast. I really think it lives up to the hype.
And I've got to thank Lazrail, actually. They've shared our live. So hopefully some more people are watching because of the share. I don't quite know. This is only our second live together, so I don't know quite how all the systems work. But hopefully this has been entertaining so far. So my second product it's a surprise actually for me. The Sally Hughes Gel Quench, which I got sent, and I thought it's just going to be just like any other moisturizer. It's going to feel a bit heavy for my skin. It's not going to be too hydrating. But I was actually remarkably surprised. So I've used it on my face quite a few times. And it's remarkable by exactly how hydrating that one is, how good it feels. It lives up to the name Quench. Definitely quenching my skin. It's not too heavy. So it doesn't feel like my face is greasy all the time. It's quite a light moisturizer, which is good for my skin. It may not be appropriate for kind of dry to very dry skin. You may need something greasier. But that one took me by surprise a little bit. So that's why I've included it here. And just to mention it, and for you guys to try out. I think it's relatively cheap as well. Don't quote me on the price.
Okay. No, I've not tried it. I'll have to try it. Third product. I was either going to mention a face oil or a cleanser. So I'm going to mention both. CeraVe Hydrating Cleanser. Amazing cleanser. Really lightweight. Really gentle. I think it's really good for the skin barrier. I absolutely love it. This is my favorite cleanser. I've been through a million. Is
that the one for normal to oily skin?
Normal to dry.
Normal to dry skin. Okay, that one. Yeah, for hydrating.
What do you think about face oils?
I myself don't really use them. I can see it as an adjunct in a skincare routine. I think I wouldn't use. It's not a core. I wouldn't say it's a core
No,
ingredient that I'd
I
use,
agree
but
with that.
I think, you know, as an adjunct kind of moisturizer, it's fine to use face oils. Do you really like them?
Well, again, it's not a core, not essential. I think they're good for when you have dry, flaky, rough areas because they act as an emollient, so they
Yeah.
soften the skin. They help to soften the top layer of skin. They don't actually add hydration. I don't think they're sufficient by themselves. But I think if you've got any
Absolutely.
dry, flaky areas, for example, secondary to using retinoids, then a little bit of face oil will help soften that area. So yeah, I like them every now and then. Again, I agree with you though. Not cool, but I like them. I'm a fan.
This one's a bit left field. Have you done three now? Is it
I've
the
done
last
three.
one?
I've done four.
You've done three. Okay,
Yeah.
the last one here. It's actually a tablet. It's my good old multivitamin tablet. And why is that included?
Why is that
So
included?
let me
Tell
tell you
me.
a story why it's included. Because I think it was a couple of years ago now, actually. I was very, very tired every single day, going to work, tired. I didn't really take any supplements at the time. I thought I just don't really want to take any tablets. But living in England, as you do, we don't get a certain vitamin. And I didn't realize how much deficient I was until I actually went and did a blood test, and I found out that I was severely vitamin D deficient. I was hardly seeing any sun. Of course, you know, naturally we're dermatologists. We tend to keep out of sunlight anyway.
Yeah.
We don't tend to go outside. We don't get much vitamin D. So I was very deficient. So at that point, I started including vitamin D in as a supplement. In addition to, you get it in some sources in the diet as well. I think oily fish is one of them. But I included it because I just definitely don't get enough. And what are the benefits of vitamin D? So it's multi-system really. It's immune support. You know, helps with your general health, tiredness, fatigue, and also skin as well. So if you've got particularly dull-looking skin, it can help you look a little bit brighter, which is good. And it's really goes to show that, you know, when you think about skincare, it's not entirely everything that you put on your skin, but also, you know, what you're taking in through your mouth and the kind of from the inside out, so to speak. And I would encourage anyone, particularly if you're living in England and you think you don't go on kind of many sunny holidays, you don't get much sunshine, go and check out your vitamin D. And I would, you know, it's very, very safe to just start 400 units of vitamin D, which is a daily maintenance dose.
Yeah.
So that's my final product. And I think that, again, as an adjunct to skin health, I think it's really important, particularly in winter. So that's our three.
I agree with that. I take my daily vitamin D supplements as well. That's really important. It helps with my tiredness. I really do think it did help. I really think it had an effect. Maybe placebo effect could have been, but I did. Yeah, no, I do think it's important.
I mean, good sleep helps as well. Don't get me wrong.
Ooh, my little ring light just died on me.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
Now don't worry. You've joined us plebs here who don't
in the darkness. Yeah. No, my room isn't great for filming sometimes, especially at this time of night. But it's all good. Yeah.
I've just got used to this red background now. So this red
I like
background
your background. I feel
following
like
me
I
everywhere.
need a background. Yeah.
I hope it doesn't make me seem too like angry or something, because you know sometimes I read some articles that redness is associated with anger a little bit, and people may think, oh, it's got a red background.
It's pink.
So, but well, in some lights it can appear pink as well.
Yeah. No, I like your scrubs. I have nice scrubs. I never wear them for videos though.
I should.
No, because I just like wearing my clothes, but maybe I should.
Well,
scrubs every now and then.
I mean, some people probably slate me for wearing scrubs. They're like, oh, typical doctor on social media wearing their scrubs. You're not at work, are you?
Yeah, well, a lot of people say that, but I don't know. I just
that.
feel like I'm more myself in my clothes, but I do have nice pairs of scrubs. But I feel like I'm just more. I just feel like more myself, so that's why I just turn up in my.
Yeah, and I think, you know, your viewer base would appreciate that. You being, I think, you know, this whole thing is us just being ourselves and talking frankly to camera.
Exactly, like maybe I'd get more views if I wore my scrubs, but I'd rather just be myself. But yeah, I have nice scrubs. I got them in the Figs Black Friday sale. So maybe I should.
Nearby. What do they look? What color are they?
Pink.
Are they pink?
Oh, yeah, nice. Yeah. I've got two different shades of pink.
Yeah.
I will wear them in a video soon so you can see them. But
This one, it's actually kind
thank
of,
you,
it's like
Dr.
bordering.
Huda, for sending a rose. Dr. Huda sent a
Oh, did
rose.
she?
That's
Oh,
really
that's
sweet.
nice.
Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Huda.
you.
Yeah.
And some people have like a blue symbol next to them, level
I don't
15.
know if that. What does that
What
mean?
are these
Hi,
levels?
Dr. Huda. You know, like the blue symbol with the triangle. I don't
Yeah, that
know.
one. There's still so much we've got to learn about TikTok lives.
Yeah.
And actually, to be honest with you, live streaming is something I've not really done too often. I mean,
No.
it's interesting from a creator point of view. We're so used to kind of just recording stuff, and you know, when you record, you can record stuff again and then again and again if you make mistakes and things like that. But on a live stream, it's almost like you can't repeat yourself.
Yeah.
You can't just keep on like
Yeah.
repeating a video if you mess it up.
Dr. Huda's from Ethiopia. She's a
Ah.
dermatologist, so she's just commented. So hi, thank you.
Very nice. Sorry, you've just come right at the end
You
because
have come right at the end, but
we will save this and it
nonetheless.
will be available on most social platforms, I'm sure.
Yes.
I can find a way to do that.
Sina usually uploads it to his YouTube channel. So if you want to watch, we just spoke about winter skincare and winter skincare tips. So if you want to see the whole thing, then it will be on your YouTube channel because you're a pro at YouTube.
Ah,
Follow
thank
him
you.
on YouTube also.
Well, I keep on saying you should get on YouTube as well.
I will. I've had a lot going on at the moment. I'm doing a lot of research.
Research?
Yeah, because
About
I'm
YouTube?
balancing a lot of research with my
Oh,
like clinical stuff. And I
yeah,
love
yeah.
TikTok. I really do. I really enjoy TikTok. But I want to be able to, properly give my time to YouTube. So when things are a bit more quiet, I'll don't worry, I'll
Yeah,
join because there's
you'll
not
join the
enough
gang.
dermatologists on YouTube. I think there needs to be more.
We missed you at the YouTube Health event. So I was at the YouTube Health event. I think was it last week or the week before now? And I was the only dermatologist. I was shocked. We need more
Who else was
dermatologists to turn
there?
out.
Who else was there?
It was full of medics really. So cardiologists, general medics, some dentists, even like a few nurses as well. And there were it was mostly just like panel sessions of kind of discussions, mostly about how YouTube can be used for health information. I know we shouldn't probably on this platform be talking about that.
I know.
They're listening to us.
They're
hearing what
listen.
we're saying.
They do listen. So yeah, maybe you shouldn't say the Y word.
Yeah. We've messed this up now because we've said it so much.
It's all right.
Yeah, it was cool to go to an in-person event and meet lots of creators. And it was good networking opportunity. I was just a bit sad that there weren't enough dermatologists because I know dermatologists we're quite social people and very social media savvy generally, I would say, for most medical specialties. Cardiologists are really on it.
American doctors are very on it with
American doctors,
utilizing social media for education and for sharing, information. I think social media can be a powerful tool. Definitely.
Yeah.
There's a lot of misinformation out there. So
that's what I was going to say. Yeah. It's a double-edged sword. If ever there was, what is the greatest double-edged sword in the world? Probably social media. It can use so much bad and so much good, and hopefully.
But I think the good outweighs the bad overall. I think.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I would. Yeah. Generally, we should. I mean, otherwise, society is going a bad way. if the good doesn't outweigh the bad, right?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Well,
Ahmed Achali.
What's
Love
that?
this live. Sorry, it's on my comments, Sarah.
Yeah.
And he was glad that we gave a nice piece of information. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope it gave you some tips for your winter skincare routine and some ideas. That's what we're here to do. And yeah, glad you enjoyed it. So should we wrap up and call it an evening?
Yes, I think so. Thank you everyone for joining. We'll try and do this again, maybe more frequently in the future, because I think we've left our last live was like months ago. I don't
know. It was so long ago. We've had exams and stuff like that.
We had exams,
don't blame
which we both passed. We both passed. We're
now officially board certified. Is it the equivalent of officially board certified now in the UK? Is that what it means?
Yeah, so it's the equivalent of board exams in America. Yeah. That's what we passed. But I don't think does board certified in America mean a consultant? I don't know.
That's the thing. Yeah, I mean, I'm not exactly sure. Maybe an American dermatologist who watches this at some point can write in the comments and tell us.
Yeah, but we are we've done the board exams in the UK for dermatology. So
So we're happy. We're
Yeah.
happy people.
Yeah, we are very happy. All right. Well, we'll definitely do this again. We'll try and do another one in about 2 weeks. What do you think?
Yeah,
2 3 weeks?
absolutely. A few weeks time.
Yeah, a few
Let's
weeks
not
time.
let's not set definite boundaries, but it will be soon. We will do
Yeah.
another one. And if you've got any ideas, I'm talking to the audience here. Of course, I'm
Dr.
talking to the
Huda
audience.
says congratulations. Thank you, Dr.
Thank you.
Huda. Yeah.
Just DM us, either like comment or message us if you've got any ideas about videos you want, and we can organize topics around. This is quite a last minute topic idea we had today, but we thought it was appropriate, so that's why we did it. But yeah, let us know if you'd like something featured.
Amazing.
Excellent.
Okay, thank you, everyone.
Cheers. See you guys later.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.